Oh my God, guys, we are, we are, we are the Truth Media Podcast. This is your boy Q Fusion Reacts and
Double
my
A have in
co-host.
the building. Y'all was good.
Okay, we got some breaking news. I almost did forgot to do the intros. This is a banger. Trade deadline never fails. The NBA is on fire. We have the Lakers making a huge move to get Russell Westbrook catapulted from the Lakers and on to on to the Jazz, and we are acquiring the silky smooth, all down the chute. No homo. Uh, hey man, oh jeez. We are getting D'Angelo Russell. For now, he's going to be doing his second tenure with the Los Angeles Lakers. This will be an exciting journey. So, what we wanted to do was make this a live episode. We usually do all of our shootings live, but for you guys, we wanted to be able to have this breaking news because we are sports junkies over here at the Truth Media Podcast. So, we wanted to definitely do something that covers this real time, right? We want to make this sort of like a news, sports news type thing, where we're giving our reactions to something that's going to be a monumental shift, and well, hopefully, in my view, as a Lakers fan, going forward. So let's get into this. We got Adrian Wojnarowski. This was breaking news as of an hour ago. We were just shooting another episode that will be released in due time. But we got Adrian Wojnarowski here breaking down the situation.
Adrian Wojnarowski is with us because we have a trade. Woj, what can you tell us about D'Angelo Russell heading to the Los Angeles Lakers?
Exactly that, Malika. Three-team deal that reunites D'Angelo Russell in the Los Angeles Lakers and sends out Russell Westbrook, that 2027 first-round pick. I'm told it's protected 1 through 4 in that season. That'll go to the Jazz. The Minnesota Timberwolves, they'll acquire Mike Conley Jr. from the Jazz, 3 second-round picks, and the Jazz are also sending 2 more players to the Lakers, Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley. A massive deal tonight that brings D'Angelo Russell back to the team that drafted him out of Ohio State. And now Russell Westbrook, he's on his way to the Jazz. And now this is a Utah team, 15 first-round picks, protected and lightly unprotected through 2029 with all the good young players they have. So a Laker team that wanted to get better, that improves. I think certainly a starting point guard in Russell, who will be a free agent, who the Lakers can look to sign long-term after the season. And, good role players, Jared Vanderbilt and Malik Beasley. Clearly, Rob Pelinka finally used one of those precious first-round picks. They still have their 2029 pick. And now the Lakers, 2 games out in the play-in in the West, they try to climb their way back.
Just a massive trade. Woj, thank you so much. So one Russell is headed out of Los Angeles while another is headed in here with Kendrick Perkins, Shanae Agumake, Richard Jefferson. Richard, your immediate reaction to this trade?
My immediate reaction is, look, we'd known that it wasn't a fit. I like D'Angelo Russell. I love that they have more NBA players.
All right, so they're just probably going to break down with their viewpoints on it, and so I don't want them to kill our thought processes on it. So I want to get your reaction to the news.
Well, I think this is huge for the Lakers.
Okay.
I think this is what, coupled with the Rui Hachimura acquisition like a week ago, I think, maybe less than that. I think coupled with that, this is exactly what the Lakers need to be relevant again, at the very least. You know what I mean? Because right now they're teetering on 13th, which we know the sweet spot. Well, I'm not sure if we want to call it sweet, but like the spot to be is at least 10 to be able to participate in a playing tournament. But the way the standings are out west, they're 13th, but they're like a game or 2 or a game and a half away from being 5th. So it's very up in the air right now, and I think this is something that they're going to need to actually get better. And not to mention, they're taking away one of the Timberwolves' best players in D'Angelo Russell. So now that's a team that they don't have to worry about taking wins away from them. And then again, Utah Jazz, another team that they don't really have to worry about taking wins away from them. So, you got a solid point guard who I think is like the prototypical point guard for this day and age. He's a 3-level scorer. He can shoot the ball. He can finish at the cup. He can make layups, and he runs a pick and roll as well as any point guard in the league that I've seen. And let's not forget, a couple years ago, he made the Brooklyn Nets very, very relevant. He took them to a playoff berth when they had been without one for quite some time. And he did that. It was him and a young Karis LeVert, and maybe they had Spencer Dinwiddie at the time, and a baby Jared Allen. So that's not no small feat. So D'Angelo Russell is somebody who's definitely matured since his time away from the Lakers. We all know how that went down with quote unquote Swaggy P and the Iggy Azalea, all that stuff that was going on, all the little boy crap. So now the Lakers are getting a more refined D'Angelo Russell. Pair that with a LeBron James, who's a household name, and then also with AD, who's a champion. If we can get them all, I'm saying we, like I'm a Lakers fan, but if the Lakers can get them all.
No, okay, you can say we, man. You can say we, man.
No, fuck that. I ain't French. So if the Lakers can get all on the same page, get AD healthy, then they're gonna be. I'm not gonna say like a problem. They're not gonna be my dark horse, but I'd like to see what they could do. Because I think that might be a better's bet right there. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. You know what? I'm just. I don't know. I just want right now. I just want to
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah. You know what? Oh man, Rob, you did your thing, man. You did your thing. This is what we've been asking for. Look, guys. You know what? If you guys didn't know, now you know. I am a huge Laker fan. This season, these past couple of seasons have been torturous for me. Okay, we are accustomed to winning. We win at all costs, even to the detriment of our future, right? Because I'm saying our because it's, I'm in the locker room, right? I see the guys' face, right? I watched, I watched the jerseys after the game. I see all these things. All right, I see the conversations. I see the locker room talk. Okay, and for lack of a better term, the camaraderie it's not been there, for say the least. But look, Rory coming over. I believe it was a week or so ago, from the Washington Wizards. This is a guy, right? 6'8", 240, I believe, about 230, 240, maybe. I think he's bulked up. This is somebody who bolsters our wings, and he has showcased that he's been able to stretch the floor for us, especially if you saw that Thunder game last night, right? He can get hot in stretches, and I think this is pairing alongside. Now we get D'Angelo Russell. We finally get a point guard, right? I think my co-host mentioned we get a new age sort of point guard that is able to utilize multiple spots on the floor, in order to pick his spots, and then to be able to dissect defenses in a whole multitude of different fashions. You can actually run different sorts of sets. You can run him off ball screens. You can run him off of pick and dives. You can do a number of different things, and also he can get you buckets when you have LeBron James sitting on the bench or AD on the bench. He spells these guys, right? So that way, if you watch one of the videos we're going to release, he doesn't have those issues where he comes onto the bench and they're the game is close and now they're down by 15. You know what I mean? You now get a guy that can get hot in the stretch, and be able to get others involved, right? He can now get others involved, and he's I'm not going to say I don't know about the better passer, but I believe he's a better decision maker, utilizing pick and roll offense than Russell Westbrook.
He's not going to be careless with the ball.
Yeah, so it's definitely an upgrade in decision making, in my view, at the point guard position. Now Malik Beasley stretch. This is great, right? We get him. I think he signed a 3-year, $50 million contract in the offseason with the Utah Jazz when they picked him up. So I think we're gonna get him for. I keep saying I'm French, guys. We're gonna get him for about 2 more years. I think so. It would have making him roughly around $15 to $16 million a year, which is great to be able to have for a guy that can put the ball in the basket. He can come off those screens. He's a 3 and D player, 6'5", about 215, I believe, 205. So he's stout. He's got good size for the shooting guard position. And then Jared Vanderbilt.
Oh yeah, that's huge.
Guys, God, I think this is going to be one of the more underrated ones that that people are going to have the dark horses to look out for. Vanderbilt, I believe he's 6'9", long, at least like a 7'3", 7'4" wingspan.
Athletic.
Oh my God, bounces out the gym. Lefty, right? So we're getting two lefties.
Yeah, because
right?
Dan Russell's lefty too. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're getting two lefties, and I think this is something that's going to be able to. We're getting not just getting youth, but we're getting youth that's experienced, right? Which is something that we've been really sorely lacking. So that way, when we get out on the run, it's not something where they're like looking for LeBron or 80. We have guys that now if you put the ball, you give the handoffs. Now they're going to be able to make their own decisions, as opposed to keep looking for 20 number 6 to help them out.
Let me ask you a question. Let's segue into something else, because obviously I think the trade speaks for itself in terms of the pieces that's being moved, right? So now let's go somewhere else. Obviously the Lakers are buying, right? They're buying right now. What does this say about the Minnesota Timberwolves with a young Ant-Man out there? What's it say for him and his future there?
Well, I think if you see the screen, they're picking up Mike Conley. And
is that an upgrade over D'Angelo Russell?
Well, because you're thinking about, well, for me, right? If I'm giving my view on it, I think this is perfect, right? For what now I don't know how it translates from a win-loss perspective, but as far as from a development perspective, I think this is great for Edwards, for Anthony Edwards, because I think Mike Conley gives him the offense. So how with NBA 2K, when we take them to camps, you want them to get their offensive awareness up, and all these other things, combo guard and all that. So for lack of a better analogy, I think Mike Conley helps with his offensive awareness, right? You get a veteran point guard who comes in, is able to help him see the intricacies that exist between utilizing his in-between game, when to utilize pull-up threes, to create more and more efficiency for him. And I think giving Nickeil Alexander-Walker as well, who is a young guard, who is on the come-up, who has showed his explosive offensive tendencies on the Pelicans. At times he has a smooth shooting stroke. I think this is a good combo for Anthony Edwards to be able to expand his so if he's at his shooting tendencies at 88, now I think he can now move it towards 92, 93, and start really catapulting himself as the alpha on this team.
Okay, so next point with that, Karl-Anthony Towns.
I mean, I think Karl-Anthony Towns will be right where he is, right? I think he's going to be the.
Do you think they should keep him?
Oof. That's a great question.
Because right now they have Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, that's a great question.
So they don't really need him, especially Karl-Anthony Towns. To me, he's peaked. He's like a Jason Tatum to me. Like he's came in, and that's who he's at. He doesn't have much more of a level to get to.
You know what I'm saying?
Not for nothing. One second, Karl-Anthony Towns doesn't have the heart to be the number one on a championship team, in my opinion. He has not shown that to me.
Well, I mean, a lot of guys don't have the heart nor the ability to be a number one on a championship team. That's why those guys are so rare. But I do agree with that. I think that Karl-Anthony Towns, I think he's I think we've kind of seen him for what he is. I think he's a poor man's Embiid. On defense, his big feet, just does not allow him to be able to get from lane to lane. So we thought he would be able to translate that Kentucky defensive prowess that he was showing before he got drafted, but it has not. It has not. He hasn't shown the motor. I think that's the thing that for me is alarming. Obviously, with his mom passing, I think you saw a light. You saw that fire get lit up, but for me, it's kind of like it's a little too late. People have been asking for this for about what? He's been in the league at least 8 years now, I think.
Yeah, a while, man. A while.
So, and he's still, I mean, don't get me wrong, he got his money. But I do think, I'm just curious to see what they could get for him. I think you can kind of make Gobert like the Capella of this team. because you don't need a big man who's going to give you in bunches, but you do need a big man who can stretch. So I'm curious, if they, I'm not, he's not untradeable. He's definitely not somebody you say he's what would they say in 2K that he's the they slap him with the non-trade clause or whatever. The non-trade tax. So it's definitely not somebody that you would say don't trade, that you can't trade. But it's just you got to be really particular and strategic about who you pick up for him.
Okay, all right. So you think that the Timberwolves are basically in the same spot? They're not buying or selling. They're just trying to develop.
Yeah, I think they're hedging. Because I mean they got Gobert and they got fucking right now Towns until they move him, eating up cap. So you've got to bolster somehow.
Yeah, Towns always fucking hurt. So
yeah,
Yeah. All right, so on to the next team, Utah Jazz. Obviously, they're selling. We know that from when they shipped out Donovan for basically nothing.
Them ninjas have been trying to sell.
Yeah, and then they got rid of Gobert, and then they have this young team that's kind of scrappy and playing hard. So they're not gonna get high picks playing like that. They get rid of a veteran who at one point in his career was the highest paid player in the NBA. Not many people know that or remember that, but Mike Conley signed a deal a few years ago that made him the highest paid player in the league.
Yeah,
take that for what it's worth. Now they ship him out and they bring in Westbrook to Utah. Russell Westbrook has had an ongoing feud with the city of Utah. He alleges that they are very overtly racist. He's had multiple issues with not just the fans there, but the officiating that takes place there, and also the front office in Utah. He has never said anything glowing about them that I can ever recall.
Yep.
What does this say about Utah? Do you think that they are going to give Russell Westbrook 30 minutes a night, or is he going to take the John Wall, Houston Rockets approach and see the bench? Is he? I believe he's in the last year of his contract.
Yes, he is.
Which would lead me to believe, again, he's going to walk anyway. And if you got him at the trade deadline, you got no value for him anyway. Why put him out there? What do you think?
They're gonna put him out there. All right, they're gonna put him out there. He's gonna get some burn. But you know what? I believe, right, because they have Colin Sexton right now. They still have Jordan Clarkson, who has been if these guys are out here, they got the GMs like,
damn son, where'd you find it?
Like, yo, what? Come on, y'all. Like, work with us, not against us.
I'm surprised the team hasn't made a trade for Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah.
Talk about explosiveness off the bench. You know, he's like the new age Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams. Like, that's
you know what it is? You know what I think it is? Is because I think they're trying to hang on to him, right? Because I think he's gonna be like one of those where he's like a staple for their bench, right? Pay him really well for a bench player, right? You know what you're gonna get out of him. And then as this team, they get the young picks and all this other stuff. I think because who they say has some? They said one team has like 15 first round picks right now at the moment. I think they said the Jazz.
Yeah, one of them, the Jazz or the Timberwolves.
Yeah, so I mean, Lord, like I think they're just going to be able to use that, give him that.
It's probably. Well, I don't know because the Jazz they got picks. And they got picks for it. Yeah.
Yes, it's Jazz because they got at least like 4 or 5 picks from the Gobert trade,
and then with the Mitchell trade too.
Correct. Yeah. So good point. So they're gonna probably utilize him as a stepping stone unless he decides he wants to be out and go to a championship team, which will probably be the trajectory. Clarkson and be able to ride a team, and then just be that guy for them coming off the bench. That could be another.
I think he's content in the role that he's in now. I don't see him being the one that's like, I want to go.
No, I'm saying like I can see that down the line. Right, like the Lou Williams effect, right? Where you're doing so well, you're like, hey, I found my niche, right? But at some point, you're gonna be like, okay, well, I do kind of want to see if I can translate it into the big time, right, into like primetime moments and see if I can produce on that level. So yeah, no, that's a good question. I just Colin Sexton is really the one that, because right now, if you didn't, I don't know if you saw, he had a brush up with the coach on the bench, like I think it was a week or so ago, where the coach was giving him the business, Nahoma, on the bench about his inability to follow the team's defensive principles. So, they followed like the mouthing thing, and they were saying like he was basically telling Sexton, it's not about you right now. So seeing something like that showcases to me that maybe they're maybe they're not they're not trying to be all in on Sexton, see where he goes, as far as from a development perspective. But I don't know. This is
I'll tell you what.
I want to know. What do you think? Do you think they're going to go that route?
Well, before I get into it, I'll say this: I like Colin Sexton as a player. I couldn't truly understand why Cleveland got rid of him. Now, don't get me wrong, Darius Garland, I get, but in my opinion, it's a you pick him for me out of the both of them. Garland could shoot a little bit better. He's a little bit more poised in half-court situations, but not so much so where it's like, okay, automatically, like, you go. Like, if I have to choose on who I'm getting rid of, it might take me a while to get there. But again, I think, Cleveland, they're privy to way more information than I am. And then Colin has been hurt. But so I think Colin, if he's not on the same level as a Garland, he's right underneath that. But again, in the NBA, from watching it for over 25 years, like, look at my Knicks. You have a player in a Julius Randle. He's here, and he could be right below so many other players. Say what you will about him, but as long as he's here and he's our best guy, we will never be where the hell I want to be. Okay. Right? So here the Cleveland Cavaliers, what's the difference between the Sexton and the Garland if you're not going to go nowhere anyway? Like that, okay, you get bounced out the first round. You're going to get bounced out the first round with Sexton, or you're going to get bounced out the first round with Garland. You know what I mean? So I didn't understand if you're going to do it like that. I didn't get it. But anyway, I think Sexton is good in Utah. I think that Sexton plays hard and he wants to win. I think that the brush-up was about the coach basically trying to say, hey, Ixnay on the winning games, eh? You know what I'm saying? And
damn.
No, I'm out here playing hard. I'm going to play to win. I play to win. So what Utah, in my opinion, is going to do with Russ, honestly, man, I think they'll play him because the brush that they'll get back, because this isn't he's not a John Wall coming off crazy injuries and hasn't touched NBA hardwood in seasons. This is Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, Russell Westbrook, who is healthy. It's hard to take him and put him on the bench, whether it's his last contract year or not. Whether so I think from a corporate standpoint, the Utah Jazz front office would not be a good look to do that to that player. You have to be able to play the game, right? So I don't think they'll do that to him. I think they'll play him, but honestly, I don't think that they're going to have an issue because in playing him, they'll assure more losses.
Oh yeah. William Morgan is probably like, what the fuck?
During the press conferences about, the Utah Jazz. Now, once I got to know them, they're good people. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with all of that stuff.
Yeah, you're going to leave all that to win. He's probably going to be he's going to be
he's going to get asked. You know that. They're going
to I don't doubt that at all. That is well within there, but he's going to be Russ and say some Unkman shit. So I can already imagine. But no, I want to get the Colin Sexton thing. For me, I love Darius Garland coming out of Vanderbilt. You know what I'm saying? When we played 2K, I was like, give me Darius. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
So for me, I saw not to say that, because a lot of people, they did that whole, like, they do that thing that they do when a guy shoots from half court, they start doing the Steph Curry comparison shit. I don't go that route, right? Because again, these guys are, I know it's easy to do that for a lot of these pundits and shit, but for me, I I just had to look at that player for what he is, and I think there's just the biggest drop off. The reason why I think that there's such a stark difference between the success they're having with Garland, as versus obviously Donovan Mitchell plays a huge hand in that, being able to get a caliber player like that.
He
But
dropped 71.
yeah. But I think that with Darius Garland, you get a change of speed that you weren't able to get with Sexton.
Yeah, I get
Right?
that. For sure.
So that's something that I think is for me, and I think that's just it comes down to preference, right? So like for me, I just that, and that's why I like the D'Angelo Russells of the world. That's why I like guys that are able to hurt you in a number of different facets. It's not to say that Sexton was not building his skill set out, because his 3-point was getting better. I think he's shooting over the last. I think I saw a stat line from the last Utah guy. I think he's the last 4 or 5 games after that tongue lashing he got from the coach. He's been shooting high like high 30s, low 40s from 3 over the last 4 or 5 games. So he's definitely molding himself into his own, getting his feet under him from 3. I just really like the ready-made aspect that Darius Garland has, and I knew that you weren't going to be able to get that get that look from Darius Garland if you had Colin Sexton there taking away touches, right?
Okay.
So that I think that was something.
So now that we're talking about the Cavaliers, right?
Yeah.
I have some questions about them. Obviously, they have Darius Garland. They made the decision to out Sexton for Garland. They brought in Donovan Mitchell. Now, I'm on the record as stating Donovan Mitchell is not that guy. There was a game, I believe, maybe 2 years ago, and at halftime or at the end of the game, it was on TNT. The NBA inside the NBA crew, Shaq, Kenny, all of them.
Right.
They did a little thing, and then after the game, Spider Mitchell had the headset on. And then Shaq, I forget exactly word for word they exchanged.
I remember what you're talking about.
Yep, but basically Shaq just basically asked him, not verbatim, but like, "Are you the man?" And then he was like, "Well, like it was like a very kind of answer where
it was a blah exchange. It was definitely a blah exchange.
Yeah, and the guy's gonna be like, yeah. So I don't have much stock in Donovan Mitchell. I think he's explosive. He reminds me of a D Wade if D Wade was playing today, but
shorter.
Yeah, shorter. And not like all the way there because D Wade had it. D Wade had it.
Exactly.
Donovan Mitchell does not have it. D Wade, it was something about him where it was like, yo, like Jordan-esque. It was like this motherfucker, like anything goes when he's out there. Donovan Mitchell, I don't see that. So, but obviously Cleveland has cemented their loins around him. How do you think they're going to be in the next 1 to 3 seasons?
Short term, I think they make for an interesting first round team. 3 to 4 seasons out, I think they build around the nucleus of Evan Mobley, him. I think they still have my Nigerian brother. I cannot remember his name for the life of me. Kevin Love's probably going to retire long term. Obviously, in a couple of years, he's probably going to be gone. So they're going to lose that Statesman. But I think they're going to build around that nucleus of Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Evan Mobley. And then, yes, Jared Allen is definitely a piece of that pie as well. But I don't know how. I think their ceiling is honestly second round, man, long term. Second round exits at best. I've never been a big fan of 6 foot. 6'2" and under, starting guards. I don't know a team that that's really had much success with that.
The Detroit Pistons of the 90s.
But how tall was my God, his name is escaping me.
Joe Dumars?
Yeah, Joe. He was like 6'3", 6'4", no?
I believe he was 6'3". I'm up now. I believe Joe Dumars 3.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Let's see. Joe 6'3".
6'3", okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So And I mean, obviously, Isaiah Thomas was generously a 6 foot, maybe 5'11". Yeah, no, and so it's
Well,
not a
actually, if you want to, I guess a more recent one. Now they haven't won, but a more recent one would be Dame and CJ.
yeah. Sorry,
They give CJ 6'4".
Well, they're the example of all they are. An example of is me knowing that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so like, but your example as far as I would more look at your example for the
where
Pistons.
Where it
Yeah,
works.
so that would be something where I'm actually curious now. I'm thinking about how that team was built, because they beat the Lakers, even though the Lakers were on a downturn when they did beat them. The Lakers were still pretty long and athletic, relatively still. Magic was he had the HIV virus.
Well, they had Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, but Dennis Rodman is like 6'6".
Yeah, but he was averaging like 20 rebounds a game.
No, I'm just saying, like, they weren't a big team. Like Lambeer probably was their biggest player, but
and John Sally, I think, was 6'9".
Yeah, but John Sally got no knees, man. That dude got no fucking knees. He got no knees, man. He's been wearing volleyball knee pads, and, like with the high waist. Oh god, man. Every time I say, I'm just like, bruh. Hey, sorry, we got a Michael Peoples. Your boy Michael Peoples is in the Facebook chat. He mentions a lot of the players today don't have that it factor.
6'11", John Sally.
Yeah,
but a lot of players today don't have the it factor.
But he was moved. But John Sally was moved. But he won a lot of championships. But he was moved.
I think a lot of players a lot of different times don't have the it factor. I think that's what the NBA is always searching for. Players that have that it factor. Because sometimes
they are desperately trying to find it.
There's players I believe that do have it, but they don't get showcased, and then they get outshone players that the NBA is trying to like put forth. You know what I'm saying? Like someone that doesn't have the it factor. James Harden.
Okay.
James Harden doesn't have the it factor.
I'm sorry, you said he doesn't or he does?
He does not have the it factor. Not the same it factor that I was referring to when talking about D-Wade. Like the it factor.
Oh, yeah, there's tiers. Yeah, there's tiers.
Like that it factor, like D-Wade has that it factor. LeBron, Kawhi, Steph has shown it. KD, I don't know. Because KD's championships came with Steph. So I don't know if he has it. He's got it. I don't know if he got it. Because D-Wade did that shit with who?
Mm-hmm.
He had Gary Payton on that fucking team, son. He had white chocolate on that team, son. He had Shaq on a decline, a serviceable Shaq, but on a decline. Who else he had?
No, he had Mano. He had Alonzo Mourning on the decline.
Alonzo Mourning, decline.
Yeah, no, he had Adonis. Adonis was there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So no, I'm not. I'm not saying. Look, there's a reason why I believe Dwayne Wade will probably be rated higher than Kevin Durant. I mean, there's only so many of those guys, right? Those kind of like those game changers on both ends, right? Who are able to affect the game in a multitude of different ways. Kevin Durant, when you automatically think of Kevin Durant, you're not thinking of him as being a defensive stalwart. When he can play solid D, but he's just not that guy where you're going to be looking at him for a clutch stop down the stretch. So yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree. I think that's the good thing I like about the NBA is that the tiers make it very clear, who are the marquee guys, right? Who are the guys where if I had, got that check, I'm not saying I would do this, but if I had, got that thing where I have my kids, they want to see a player, and I just got that, that check, right? That bi-weekly check, and I got to, throw that money and it's got to go somewhere. That I think of those are those guys where it's like, damn, that motherfucker better be playing. He better not be doing no load management, or else I'm gonna be on me and my kids shooting this place up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, those are those guys, right? The Kawhis, those Kawhis, because he always
Kawhi's got it.
Yeah, because he always comes to play on both ends. And so yeah, it's the Kawhis, the LeBrons, Steph Curry, Giannis, Jokic is getting there. And I mean obviously 2 MVPs later. And then Joel Embiid. You know,
Yeah,
these guys for me are the
I think Trae Young's got it too.
I think he can. I think he can have it, right? Because he's got the look, right? He's got the TikTok look. I'm not saying he can't be it. I'm saying, yeah, he's got the TikTok look, right? You know what I'm saying? Like he could be very marketable. He's got the personality.
And he's an alpha. I just think he's up against the Knicks. We went to the Garden.
Yeah, no, yeah, he
went to Philly. Yeah, we just watched the video.
But then they're having
the Supreme Dreams. Ben Simmons, who got you scared on that team?
I know.
Is it Trae?
But then he's got to ride. My thing is he's got to ride that out, man. Like you have an epic series like that, right? Not even an epic series. He had an epic playoff run like that.
Yes.
You gotta
no help. I mean, he had help, but he had no real help.
You know. And so my thing is like you gotta. I'm saying I need more. I still need more for me to be like, you know, you can build around this guy for years to come. I'm not saying you can't, but like I still need a little bit more. You know, because right now, look at them. They're barely hanging on. Sorry, we got Michael Peoples in the chat. We got with another James Harden is overrated. Kevin Durant is a great player, but isn't a leader. Oh, okay, Michael Peoples.
He's not a leader. I agree with that, brother.
I believe Dame has the it factor. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know if my co-host agrees with that.
Ooh, that's a great point right there. So, Dame, I don't think Dame has the it factor. Only because of this. Well, actually, no. For 2 reasons. Mm-hmm. It might be a third. As I'm saying it, the third might come out. It might just be 2. I might be confusing myself, but I'll start here. 1, Dame loves to play the big fish in a small pond role too much for me to give him the it factor.
Oh, okay.
Too much. Because he had opportunities to leave. He's always talked. He's been outspoken about not having help and all sorts of stuff. But time and time again, he chooses to stay there. Now, he did not take the Giannis approach. Giannis stayed in a small pond, won a damn championship. And every year is pursuing another ring. And it is like literally in talks of doing so. Dame not. So at some point I have to say, you know, you just don't want that smoke. Not saying that you can't handle it, but maybe you think that you can't handle it. Maybe there's doubt in you because you could have paired up with a LeBron James, right? You could have paired up with anybody. You're Damian fucking Lillard, right? So something tells me, you know, like I don't buy that whole like that loyal to the soil. I'm gonna stay here because you know I don't buy all that. I don't buy all that. And then next, it is 3 things. The first thing, there was a series that the Portland Trailblazers played against the New Orleans Pelicans like 3-4 years ago when Drew Holiday was still in New Orleans, and Drew Holiday gave the Portland Trailblazers the fucking business. Them niggas couldn't score, and he was dropping buckets on them, bro. It was ridiculous because the Trailblazers was hot that year. That was supposed to be one of their years. And then when their year finally did come, and they made it to the Western Conference, the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors because they beat the Nuggets, and they were hot. And then this is the year that Kawhi won it. The Warriors didn't have KD, so it was Dame versus Steph, CJ versus Clay. That was their time. Dame came up and shat the bed. CJ was dropping buckets. Dame did not. So no, he does not have the it factor. If you have the it factor, you're supposed to be salivating at the mouth when you go against the Warriors without KD, because that's if the knock is they got KD, it's impossible now. They're gonna win everything. Nigga, you get to go against them without KD, you should be salivating. We're going to the finals. So again, you know, I think that there's self-doubt. And again, not many people can be an MJ, can be a D Wade. So if Dame's not that, that's cool. It's not a knock on you. You're not him. So no, Dame does not have the it factor. I've seen it. That's 3 times. I've seen it. Drew Holiday took their heart single-handedly. I saw Steph and Clay beat up on CJ was trying to hold it down. Dame came up short. And then again, Dame refuses to leave the small pond. He wants to be the big fish. I don't think that he truly wants to win. I think that he's satisfied with, staying there and getting knocked out the first round or maybe the second round, just saying, hey, I don't really have that much help as a small pond. Yeah, the NBA needs to do something. I think he's content playing that role. Whereas Kawhi went to fucking Toronto and won a chip against all odds. He said, I want to go here. They said, no, we're going to send you out of the fucking country, nigga.
Oh.
Literally. And he won a championship. Now that's it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, you know what? So I'm gonna say it like this. I don't think if we're using the basis of it based upon the upper echelon guys that we mentioned, the LeBrons, the Curry, the Joel Embiid, Giannis, and then the Jokic, and I think we already said Embiid, the Kawhis of the world. So if we're using that base, then no, he doesn't have the it, right? Because the it is more transversal, right? It's like you're able to move into multiple different markets, whether it be in the US, whether it be in Europe, whether it be Asia, South America, you name it, Antarctica, for God's sakes, they're watching basketball. So yeah, you have to be able to hit all those different markets and be recognized on that end. Now, do I think that he is a marquee player? Yes. Right? Which is why I think that he's hitching his ride. Okay. Michael Peoples is going in this chat. Okay, so real quick, Michael, I'm gonna give my take, and then I'm gonna clue you in because Michael Peoples is giving some fire in here. So I want to make sure we give him some love. So thank you, Michael, again for showing some love in the chat. So yeah, I think that in order for you to be the it guy, you need to be able to be able to show up in big moments, and be able to carry, right? He has not been able to do so. He's not been able to showcase that. Now, has he been able to have big moments? Yes, this is what makes him marquee, right? It makes him a guy that you will pay money for to be able to go watch, because yes, he could give you 60 and have an explosive game like that.
Like Stephen A. would call box office.
Correct. Yes, that's a good way of phrasing it. So I think that he doesn't necessarily have that it, but I do think he is a marquee player, which is why he's had such success off the court, in different ventures, right? With his commercials, with his music career, things like, because he has a good personality, that can that transcends well. But the problem is that the play he's had the moments where you could get himself into battling Steph Curry for that sharpshooter extraordinaire, title, but then he's come up short in those moments. So that's killed him long term. So now I want to get to Michael Peoples. He says in the comments, Dame doesn't believe in teaming up with the greats. I think this is going to your point about him wanting to stay in the having that big fish in small pond concept. He has an old school mentality. He can't do it all by himself. Don't forget, Dame is from Oakland.
Okay.
So that's the first point. So I guess you can address that one, and then I'll get into his next box office one.
All right. Well, yeah. I'll address it. Well, before I address it, I want to say thanks to our watching, Mike, and thanks for contributing to the show. Really appreciate it. But to answer that about Dame, I think that's like an archetype. And I speak on this on my own channel. In life, people play roles. There's archetypes. You ever watch a movie, like the first 10-15 minutes, you gotta figure out who the characters are. That's the serious person. That's the jester. This is the harlot. You know what I'm saying? People fall into categories.
Yeah.
Whether it's a movie or it's in real life, it's the same shit. Dame is that character where he's gonna say, I stand on all these values and stuff like that. But again, I believe, now I can't prove this, I just believe that he's doing that because he doesn't want to take the next step. I don't want to hear how great you are if you're not willing to go out there and fucking prove it. If you know that how people are evaluated is like this, don't try to change the way we evaluate. Just fucking go do what you got to do, and then come back. Do LeBron. Go out, win a couple rings, come back, and then say, okay, now we're listening to you. But I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it anymore from Dame. Because at the end of the day, I haven't seen anyone try to go play with you either. So are you calling people? Are you calling people to try to get them to come to play with you? I have a hard time believing that. You couldn't get nobody. Who has went to Portland to play with Damian Lillard? Exactly. So I don't buy that the old head mindset. No, American players at large don't truly adopt that old head mindset. That's a European thing. We see that with Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
These people that come from like abstract poverty, you know what I'm saying? They're like, hey, they gave me a chance. I'm loyal to the soil with them. Mm-hmm. Damian Lillard, no, it's about the money. He can get a supermax there. That's why he stayed.
I think that's more, yeah.
And I'm not knocking you for making. I'm not even counting your pockets. But don't be the one trying to come out and be like, oh, I'm loyal to the soil. I'm doing it the old way. I'm trying to build a team. Yada yada. At the end of the day, Giannis was able to get Drew Holiday to his team. Without Drew Holiday, they're not winning that championship. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck did you get, Dame? Enes Kanter, Carmelo Anthony. That's the biggest name that's the biggest name you got. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate you getting Melo back into the league. That meant a lot to me. I love Melo, man. One of my favorite players of all time. Now he's not a championship NBA player, but I still, it is what it is. So credit for that. Thank you for that, brother. But Melo's name shouldn't be at the top of the fucking list of your key contributions to your team's success. Like really? So no, I don't buy that.
Yeah, no, I just want to just real quick. I just want to. So my thing is, I don't think it's self-doubt, because I think that these guys inherently have an immense amount of innate confidence in themselves, right, to be able to play. Now, what I will say is that his situation perplexes me because of merely of the fact that he is one of those few players where this scenario. So I'll give you some credence on this. He has, if there was one player that could make a move, leave, just bounce, get the fuck out, nobody would give him shit.
No.
He would, he could go wherever he wants and people would be like, hey, Ninja, it's about time, man. It's damn about time that you fucking, because Portland is for lack of a better term, the owners are counting checks, right? They're because it's not favorable. It's all the way up in the Northwest. It takes hours to get up that bitch. The weather's moody. It's not exactly a prime destination. Yes, yes, it's lively from an economy perspective, right? Because they do have a lot of tech up there. But from a wanting to live around that aspect, right? It's not exactly a drawable place. Okay, so Dame staying and hitching his ride to that is just something that it's one of those things where it's like, bro, you're loyal. If it is loyalty, you're loyal to a fault, right? Yeah. And you're not doing yourself any disservice because you're gonna rack up maybe some All NBAs, maybe some third team All NBAs, for when you have good seasons, but the second round knockouts that don't give you no love in the long term.
Yeah, you're gonna be forgotten about.
Yeah, and you're gonna be one of those guys where they say, yeah, he was one of the good ones, one of the great ones in that era. But as far as being compared to your contemporaries,
no, not at all.
You'll
be in a Trailblazers hall or ring of fire. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go to all the games that you want.
Yeah, you'll be a Portland Hall of Famer.
Yeah, but and again, but then that's my point.
Yeah,
if you're so great, why are you settling for that? In my opinion, greatness chases the path to greatness, and I know that he knows that's not what he's doing by staying there. So that's why I bring up the doubt. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're in NBA and you're a star, he's not a superstar, but you're a star. Yeah, of course, you're confident. But I think at some point, a Damian Lillard could sit down and say, you know what? I shoot these threes like Steph Curry. I went head to head with Steph Curry. He showed me up. When I look at our stats, head to on in juxtaposition, I averaged 30. He averaged 31. I shot 45%. He shot 50%. I shot 38%. He shot 42% from three. Like Dame has to understand that. I don't think Dame would. I think Dame would rather be, again, big fish, little pond. I'm the guy. This is my campus. This is my campus.
Yeah, I can see
that. So going to a championship level team and being, because in my opinion,
I don't think he wants to go
second or third.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to be that guy.
Second or third, because I don't know if Damian Lillard could be your second best player on a championship team.
Yeah, that's depending on who that team has. Yeah, I agree with you. And depending on how they utilize him too, as well, I could see him. So I agree with you. So that's sorry, I don't want to miss out on Michael's other comments. So we hit that one head. He says Joel. Well, I'm gonna give him two because one of them was in support of us, and then the prior one. Joel doesn't have the it factor at all. And then he says, both of you have my full support. I think that was after you were shouting him out for leaving comments. So thank you so much, Mike. We definitely appreciate the love. I'm going to be checking out your content as much as well, because my co-host talks, glaringly about you in a extremely positive light about, how insightful your content is. So I definitely will be, perusing myself over there, because I do consider myself a YouTube junkie. So let's dissect this. Joel doesn't have the it factor at all. Michael, I've got to disagree. I have got to disagree. Joel Embiid goes to every arena. He goes to, for God's sakes, what he does to Jokic, what he does to Jokic, who was a 2-time MVP, I think a back-to-back MVP at this point, and he consistently dogs Jokic every time they go head-to-head.
Every time.
It is a poor matchup for Jokic. You cannot contain him. And obviously, yes, Jokic is able to get his in some regard, but for the most part, Embiid wins out on. It's to the eye. You're not going to say Embiid is not winning that. So if that is the case, right? If you have a guy who is a consistent, and if we're going to take it to the it factor point as far as going into the playoffs and being able to showcase. We saw the video that we made. We were making fun of the Ben Simmons thing, where Doc Rivers was like, "Hey, Embiid, I get it. You got to average. If you got to average 30 every damn game, because of what this guy's giving you, I'd want to. I'd be tired too. You know what I'm saying? So, the ability that Joel Embiid has to be able to connect to the youth, and with him being a 7-footer, because I do think it's a lot harder in this day and age for 7-footers to ingratiate themselves with the modern kids of this age, because
they can't relate.
They can't. They want to be able to shoot from half court. They want to be able to beat tiny. They're going to end up probably not being 6-7 foot. So the average height I think for men is like 5'10".
Yeah, 5'9". Many of them won't reach 6 foot, let alone 7 foot.
Right. So the fact that he's been able to, with having the language barrier to a degree, right? Because his English is, while it has gotten a lot better since when he got into the league, he's a lovable guy. Yeah. Right, and he's a guy that you can put on a marquee matchup, and expect that he will produce.
Oh yeah, he will,
at an efficient clip.
What I like about Embiid is that, and this is why he has an it factor. He doesn't shy away from the big moment or the big shot, and we know what he's going to do.
Right,
and he delivers. Correct. That makes him have the it when we know. It's 10 seconds left, and he has the ball in the mid post.
And I'm feeling good.
Yeah,
I feel good about that.
He's probably just going to shoot right over you. If you play too close, he's getting by you, and he's dunking on the help defender who's late, and that's the and one. And he's going to hit the free throw.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And on defense, if he's on defense with 10 seconds left, you better not come nowhere near the fucking paint. because he's snatching that shit, or he's gonna heavily alter your shot.
Yes.
That's it factor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's taking his team on deep stretches. Without a Kawhi Leonard falling out of bounds,
Lord,
ball bouncing on all corners of
I think people really letting that. Not to cut you out, but I think people really, this dude, like Joel Embiid, was on the verge of going to an NBA Finals.
Oh yeah, and then the Warriors would have had no answer for Joel Embiid. Now Doc Rivers probably would have ruined that shit.
Yeah, they would have been up 3-1.
You know what I'm saying? But they had no answers because remember, KD was out, and then when he did ultimately come back, he went out again in 13 minutes or 11 minutes or something like that. So they had no answer for a freaking. That would have been a match of nightmare. Draymond Green probably fouled out or been in foul trouble. That's your offense right there, basically, because he pushes the ball and sets up a lot of these screens and backdoor cuts for Clay, the Splash Brothers, basically. So that would have been a nightmare for them. You know, Joel Embiid could very well have a championship right now. I don't want to spend too much time on the woulda, coulda, shoulda, but like we all saw the shot that Kawhi made. The degree of difficulty on that shot, and Joel Embiid closed out on that shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, we got Michael Peoples back in the chat. This is a good question. Michael Peoples with the fire today. Yeah, we definitely got to do more sports content because I'm telling you, I think we can definitely hit some people with some hot fire. Michael Peoples says, where do you see Ben Simmons' career going forward? Lord, I got some words for this for Ben Mother effing Simmons. Yeah, first things first, I've never been a fan of Ben Simmons. Just simply because of the fact that I do not. For me, right, watching the NBA, watching these guys, I am a proponent of what's it called of progression, right? And I just something in me for a guy that is that is going to consistently keep getting paid close to the max, if not getting close to the super max. You've got to be able to show that you're moving in the right direction. So with his career, I think he's going to stay stagnant. I don't know if this contract. I don't know if he's going to ever get to the point where he's looked at as a guy that can get you 25, 8 and 8, or be able to give you the Luka magic. I don't know if he's ever going to be that guy. I think that he is going through a Markelle Fultz level type of yip center to the point where he is becoming a non-factor, right? And so because of that, I don't know if I see him moving. I see him moving into a realm where he becomes like the fourth guy, like on a championship team, where his contributions are, you love it, but you're not exactly writing home about him, to say the least, right? I don't know if he's got that because it's just the way he's playing on the Nets is just not. It's not behooving of a number one pick, first off, and then the second off, it's damn near disrespectful to the game, right? Because you would think that if you after everything you've been through, you would simply say to yourself, let's get in the lab, let's work on, not saying you have to shoot threes, but let's work on maybe developing a mid-range game, developing a post game. I mean, when you watch him touch the ball, he's throwing up, right-handed hooks, hook shots that don't even look smooth. They look like he's just sort of just throwing it, and thankfully it goes into the basket. It does not look like, it does not look like somebody you'd want to pay $30 million going forward. So that's why I see his career moving forward. I just see him as being, I think I was telling him, Aaron, before you jump back on, I see him as being more of like, if he's going to end up being on teams that are doing well, he's going to be that fourth cog in the wheel, where he's averaging maybe 10 points, maybe 6 6-7 rebounds, maybe 5-6 assists, and shooting 60% from the free throw line at best, maybe 50% from the field, just because he's shooting nothing but layups. But yeah, I just don't see him going in a good direction. I don't see him being paid like that no more.
Yeah, I think Ben Simmons' career. Look, the Sixers won that trade.
Yes.
They always ask the question when the trade happened, who won the trade,
Mhm.
and you really never really know until like some time has gone by. Initially, I thought the Nets won that trade because James Harden was just he fell off. But James Harden falling off is still enough to be paired greatly with a Joel Embiid on the rise. So that's a perfect match for them. And Ben Simmons, one, he can't even stay on the fucking court.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, he's added no wrinkles to his game. We all know what the knock is on him. We're not the only ones. These NBA players, they're listening to us. I guarantee you. There's an NBA player listening to us. Because they listen.
I love it.
So they know what's being said about them. They know what the criticisms are. Ben Simmons knows. There's no reason, and not for nothing. The motherfucker was out there running summer runs, shooting threes. We all saw the video. So come on, man. Come on, man. You can't be out here in the summer getting them up, and then for your team that's paying you millions and millions of dollars, you can't shoot a three. You can't be the source of something constant or consistent offensively. We're not asking for 20 points a game, man. We're asking, can you average like a smooth, just like 10 points a game? Let's start there. Get 5 layups, 5 assists, 2 steals a game. I think any team will be happy with that, especially if you're playing lockdown defense. Because you're going to be shooting a good percentage.
Right.
You get 5 layups. You know what I'm saying? 5 layups or dunks, whatever. 5 assists. That's what? That's 10 points, 5 assists. Another 10 points, you're responsible for 20 points. You got 2 steals, maybe a block. That should be not much me asking you to do. But he's not doing that. So to answer the question, Ben Simmons, this is not looking good for him. Now with Kyrie out, who knows what the Nets are going to be doing. I personally do not like Joe Tsai as an owner. I think that he has too much of I think he's making it too much about him. He has to understand the NBA is a business and it's run by business owners, but it's ultimately run by the players because it's an entertainment league. It's kind of I liken it to the WWE. You know, like Vince McMahon's the owner, but The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Triple H, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, these people actually run WWE. You understand? Joe Tsai is thinking like he's running some tech company out in Silicon Valley, and hey, we're gonna do it like this in my way. No, niggas ain't going for that, bro. Because at the end of the day, how many teams have won a championship in the past 10 years? How many teams out of the 30 have won a championship in the past 10 years? Well, let's just look. We know Golden State at least, 5? 4. Because Steph has the same amount as LeBron. So Steph's got 4. So the Golden State Warriors has 4. We know Giannis got 1. We know the Lakers got 1. Ten years ago will be 2013. I think that's the Spurs. I think the Spurs won that in 13. Or maybe it was the Heat in 13 and the Spurs in 14.
No, it was the Heat in 13 and the Spurs in 14. I remember that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we got 15 and 16.
And then those the Warriors in 15.
15.
Cavs in 16.
Cavs in 16.
Warriors in 17 and 18.
All right then. So
And then Raptors in 19. Oh, I think.
yeah, exactly. So in 10 years, we got the Warriors, the Raptors, the Lakers, the Cavs, the Spurs, and the Heat. 3 of those teams, the Heat, the Cavs, and the Lakers, had the same player.
Mm-hmm.
So again, Joe Tsai, you did your team a disservice, and I think going forward, you hurt your team. I wouldn't be surprised to see Joe Tsai be removed as not removed, like removed, but like he's not good for the league because that's a market, and if players don't want to go there, players already don't want to go to the Knicks, so now they don't want to go to Brooklyn either because of this owner, because they don't want to go to the Knicks because of Dolan, even though Carmelo Anthony loves Dolan. It's not good. You know, he's made it about him. Your owner's name shouldn't be brought up as that much. So it tells me either Joe Tsai,
unless you're Jerry Jones.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Joe Tsai's name is always coming up. Like, why are you squabbling with Kyrie Irving? Why are you talking so much about what Kyrie Irving is doing? You're the owner, dude. You pay people to handle all of that. You know, why is it you? I don't understand that. So yeah.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Now the way that whole debacle went down was just, oh man. I mean, I know people can, take the low hanging fruit, you know what I'm saying, and put a lot of the onus on Kyrie, but Joe Tsai, you know what I'm saying, when you got somebody like that, dude, like he's got his own skeletons that he's got to deal with the way that he was handling business in China and all the shit that he's got going on with his, the warehouses and things of that nature. So for him to be, pot calling the kettle black on somebody else's moral, ineptitude is just a really, it's really just a weird point. So I don't know. Joe Tsai was, he's somebody that just seems like he's trying to get into for the get in or whatever. And he's never really struck me as somebody that, I think he sees the team as Brooklyn, right? He sees it's New York, and I think he sees himself having to like kind of thrust himself into that media circus, and I don't think it's faring well for him. So I definitely agree with you. We got Michael Peoples in the chat again.
Oh, my brother Mike killing it tonight, man.
Yes, he showed me some love here. Michael,
we have to bring him on this podcast, and I'm trying to bring him back on mine. Hopefully, Mike, we can get that going sometime next week. It would be ideal for me, brother. All right, let me know what you think about that. What's the question, Mike?
He says, well, no, he has a couple of his comments. He mentions, and then he does have a question. I concur with everything you said about Ben Simmons, Mike. And then he says, who will be the bigger bust, Kwame Brown or Ben Simmons? LOL. So I think that one is a pretty easy one. But even so, I do like the way Kwame Brown broke down bust. I think that when we just talk about bust, we talk about the sort of the expectation that you're looking for out of the number one. So from just a pure bust talk, I don't think Ben Simmons is. I think Kwame Brown's going to own that one in this conversation. Ben Simmons has had a good stretch where he has shown some good productivity that would definitely almost put him in that all NBA status. So as a result, you definitely got to give him.
Not for nothing, just I think defensively alone,
yeah,
Ben Simmons, you can't even attach bust to his name. He's stout on defense.
Yeah, because I don't even think people saw that. I don't even think people saw that coming.
Yeah, no, we didn't. We just knew that what he could do with the ball. His comp was like a LeBron James. No one was thinking about defensively. How he could guard 1 through 5 efficiently and effectively. So which is is actually interesting because this season, and also this season, Matisse Thybulle has not been getting that much burn. I don't understand why. I know he's not much offensively, but defensively, that boy, he's a problem. And I
But
think Doc
are
Rivers is
they? Is it because he's dealing with injuries? I thought it was some. I thought he was in and out of the lineup because of injuries and whatnot. Is it just that he's not getting playtime? Because I haven't followed the 76ers a ton.
earlier in the season. I know he wasn't getting play time, and he was healthy. I don't know what the hell was going on because I know he was healthy and he wasn't getting play time. And then some of the announcers were saying, "Oh yeah, we don't know what's going on." Yeah. So I've seen him playing more in some of the highlights that I've been watching.
Okay.
But in the highlights, you don't really get to hear the announcers too much. So I don't know where it's at now, but I do know in the beginning of the season he was not getting burned like that, and I was like, that's a shame because that dude plays defense.
Right.
He's locked down, and if you let up Ben Simmons, then he needs to be getting burned because James Harden ain't playing no defense. I know they got that dude, D'Anthony Melton. He plays D, but besides him and Joel Embiid, they don't really have any like defensive stalwarts out there. So I don't know. I'm not honestly, I'm a Knicks fan, so whatever. Fuck them. Actually, speaking of New York, hey man, the Eagles got to go down. I'm telling you, Patrick Mahomes. Super Bowl predictions. Obviously, my bias is shining through. I'm choosing the Kansas City Chiefs.
That's right, my homeboy.
Yeah, I love Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is my dude. Not since day one. I'll never forget when he got drafted. I was like, who the fuck is this guy and why did he go so early? So I'm honest about my shit. When that happened, because I think he came on the same draft as Mr. Trubisky. There was a lot of shit going on in that draft, and I'm like, what the fuck? Who are these people? Why are they going? Yeah, Patrick Mahomes. I was like, yeah, whatever. And then he rolled the bench, Alex Smith, and the next thing you know, he was the real deal. Now, when he first started playing, I was like, this guy's got it. He's got it. And he's only just continued to show that he has it. So I think he's going to continue to show it again this weekend. My goal predictions score of 31-28 in favor of Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think it's going to come down to a field goal win. I just think that it's going to be 31-28. Meaning I don't think it's going to be tied, and then the Chiefs win with a field goal to go ahead. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to have a decent game, not a high output game. I think the defense is going to step up. I do believe that the Eagles are going to come out hot to start the game. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a nice game, but I think he's going to be careless with the ball. Now, I don't know if he's going to throw it away or he's going to cough it up, but I think he's going to be careless with the ball, and that's what's ultimately going to cost him.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's gonna. I think since we are giving our Super Bowl take, I know this was an NBA. Oh no, hold up! Before I even give that, we got Michael Peoples in there. Michael Peoples. If Kyrie comes in with the right mindset, Luka and Kyrie can be be a powerful backcourt. And then he says the Eagles got this.
The Eagles got
Eagles got this. No, I think we were. I think were we not having this conversation? I think we were talking about. If we weren't, I think I was talking about it on my channel. About how I think that this can work. I think it does. There is, but it's going to be. There's going to have to be a. There's going to have to be a sense of, how do I say this? With their sets, right? I do think there is a way where you can utilize this as an opportunity to spell Luka, so that way he's not constantly having, because that's what usually happens to Luka is he has these great, he's able to make these runs, but then he burns out, right? Because obviously we see that Luka is not built stamina wise to be able to really take on the load, right? So having a guy like Kyrie who can get you, scoring in bunches, I think that does help you out a ton when it comes to that, being able to offset that load. I do think that Luka will definitely have him and Kyrie be able to really work off well with each other, because Kyrie can play off ball, right? I know a lot of times he is looked at as an ISO player, which is granted, but he is able to work off the ball and shoot off the dribble, as well as shoot off of ball screens. So, and he does do that at an effective rate, and I think that can be something we can also see. And hopefully this also gets Luka into fucking getting his ass moving and starting to learn how to take the defense with him, and start learning how to expand his game as well. So I think this could be good for Luka from a schematic perspective, as long as they figure out how which one looks more suitable based upon their sets.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I think that Luka, he could and should be able to learn from Kyrie. Like Luka, there's a lot to Luka's game that I don't like. You know, people love Luka Doncic. I'm not one of them. I think that he's definitely going to be, you know, one of the big names like in this league. I mean, he already is a big name, you know, but like I mean, like he's gonna win an MVP, if not more. He's gonna do these things. You know what I mean? I see that for him. But there's a lot to his game, and I said this years ago. I'll say it again. He's like a right-handed James Harden. Just not as athletic. You know, he plays this the same way that like real cheap kind of game. Only thing I'll give Luka is that he has more nuance because he has post footwork. You know, he knows how to score 3 levels. James Harden, man, I think I've seen James Harden shoot 2 mid-range shots in his whole career. That wasn't a floater. A floater. I mean,
to be fair, he's this season he's shot way more mid-range shots from the games that I have watched of the Sixers than I've seen him in like the last 5-6 years, which is probably not saying a lot.
Yeah, so you know, Luka, I'll give him that. Luka he's definitely a true 3-level scorer. His defense leaves a lot to be desired. I think he looks for a lot of the ticky-tack fouls. I think he talks to the refs too much, complains to the refs too much. I think he just is to play the game. So, you know, him and Kyrie, like you said, Mike said, if he comes in with the right mindset, you know, I don't know if it's that, but you know, is it on Kyrie? I think Kyrie's Kyrie.
Okay.
Kyrie's gonna do what Kyrie does. He's gonna bring what Kyrie brings, which is buckets, efficient buckets. Kyrie is what, 1 year removed or 2 years removed? I think 1 year removed from a 50-40-90 season. Something that Luka Doncic has never sniffed in his fucking life.
Oh.
You know, so I think Luka, like you said, Mike, should learn some wrinkles from Kyrie on how to be more efficient. Because if Luka's more efficient, the Mavericks would be more efficient. And they'll be better. Because overall, they've been playing pretty decent D over the past 3 seasons. You know, they got some defensive players out there. They can get some stops. They got some athletes out there. They got some long bodies out there. So, you know, but if Luka's going to be shooting, you know, 47% and shooting 34% from 3, how many games are you going to shoot yourself out of? You know, so if Luka can like tackle that hurdle, oh my God, are you kidding me? If Kyrie can usher Luka to that finish line, oh man, the stories get rewritten for Kyrie.
Yeah, no.
Because if Kyrie can do that, they can win a championship. If Kyrie can do that, they can win a championship. Because you're not stopping Luka. You don't stop Luka. I don't like a lot of his game, but I'm telling you right now, you don't stop that motherfucker. You can't stop him. You know what I'm saying? Kawhi and Paul George couldn't stop him.
Right.
And you can't stop Kyrie either. The only person that can stop Kyrie is Kyrie.
Yeah.
So
well, hold on. We got another. We got a YouTube chat. We got Orion. He mentions how Lakers getting these deals.
That's a great question.
That's a good ass question. You know what it is? I think. Thanks, Ryan, for that. I haven't seen you in our chats before, so I do appreciate the love. You know, by all means. I think that to answer your question, I think Rob Pelinka just finally saw something that was worth giving the first round pick to, and I would really agree with, you know, his decision, because it is a 2027 pick, you know, first round pick. So let's be honest, it's 2023 right now. This is the 2022-23 season. Anthony Davis, if you still want to ride that train, he's 29. You take 4 years. 4 years gets him to 33 by that 2027 season. So he's still, if he's not retired by then,
Be gone, bro.
yeah, if he's not retired by then, you don't pick up any more marquee players along the way, you still are probably not going to be last. You're probably still not going to be, you're not going to be top of the pack, but you're going to probably be middle of the pack. So that's looking at probably a 15, 16, 17 pick in the draft, around there somewhere. So in all actuality, this is one of those times where you can shoot for it, and I actually like this because they're finally getting assets back as opposed to just dumping, young youthful assets. So I think that first round pick has finally been able to offload as opposed to just taking a straight up trade for John Wall and
Nice.
Russell Westbrook, which we saw, how he's while he is doing well, it's good to be able to see him play. It's definitely not something warranting a straight up trade.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, hey, to answer that question by Orion, the Lakers basically, they had to make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
They had to. You can't have LeBron James in this historic season, record-breaking season, record-setting season,
Yep.
averaging 30 a game and not make the fucking playoffs again. Because if not, they're not looking at LeBron James. No matter if he told you, yeah, bring Russell on. They're looking at you, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at you. Jeannie Butts is looking right at you. As she's sucking your dick, she's looking right up at you. Because we already know. We already know what's going on over there. Okay? She's like, yeah. I'm going to finish you off, but enough is enough, Rob. So, yep. Genie's right there, and you got Phil Jackson in the corner stroking it like, faster.
This guy is crazy, man. Yeah, this guy is
No, but for real though, so he had to for his own job,
right?
Because if you don't, you're gonna get fired, and then you're not gonna get picked up. But at least if you do, and it still bombs, you still made a move,
right?
So it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, he had to shoot for it. He had to shoot for the sky. And thankfully, this was something. It finally schematically makes sense, and not to say that these guys are going to automatically make them title contenders, but finally, from a schematic perspective, right, we're starting to see that they're getting players that are prototypical for the system that they need to run. Right, like Troy Brown's been doing great. Right, they're playing Troy Brown more. Troy Brown is being able to showcase and flourish a little bit more. They're getting rid of Toscano Anderson. I don't know how you thought to yourself that was going to be. I mean, he was making threes for the Warriors, but let's be real, with that type of spacing,
offense.
Yeah, with that type of spacing, I mean, anybody, I won't say anybody, but a lot of guys are going to be able to capitalize.
Draymond shoots.
You know what I'm saying? Extremely wide open. Because what are they going to do? They're not going to run at Toscano. They're gonna definitely keep him honest and just let him take the threes that he takes. So, I don't know what I know they were probably looking for defense, but hey, when it comes to LeBron, you can't have guys that are just only one-sided players. Like, you need 3 and D players. Yeah. And so this is what they're actually gonna be able to get. Vanderbilt, I'm not sure about where his shooting prowess is at this point in his career, but I already know that he is a a bulldog. He's somebody that's going to be the hustler. He's going to be somebody that's going to be wiry. He's going to be somebody that's going to be extremely athletic, and be able to help, force the issue on the other side of the ball, and be somebody that Anthony Davis can now say, all right, now I don't have to have all of the defensive onus when I can barely walk up and down the court. So, so this is going to be this is going to be an interesting. But I'm interested to see how it plays out as a Lakers fan. But yeah, no, guys, thank you for tuning in with us on this breaking news. I definitely, oh my God, I definitely am excited to see where trade deadline goes. Charles Barkley said it a couple weeks ago that this is going to be probably one of the in his view, probably going to be one of the more exciting trade deadlines in NBA history. So far, I don't know if it's NBA history work, but it's definitely leaning towards an epic 2023 trade deadline. So
Oh
yeah.
because I mean, you have to think other teams are going to make moves. Like there's
Correct.
still players out there that can help out teams that are on bad teams. Like we spoke about earlier on the last episode. Jordan Clarkson's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Teams can use the Jordan Clarkson.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? There's teams out there that got like what's that guy's name? Noel. I think his name is Noel on the Timberwolves. He's a nice solid piece.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I know the guard from the Timberwolves. Yeah, the one that was dropping buckets on you when we played my career.
Yeah, even the McDaniels.
Yeah,
you know
Jaden McDaniels.
There's players out there that can help out these teams, and also what's going on with that dude Miles down in Charlotte.
Oh, Miles Bridges. Is he out of jail yet?
I don't know. I heard he was coming back soon, but I heard that the Hornets don't want him because of what happened. So what's going on with that?
No, I think he's definitely not going to be able to come back to the Hornets, but I don't know if the NBA slapped him with the suspension. Well, because right now I don't know if I don't think he was in jail. I just think he was going through that process. But I know that the Hornets had I think they supposedly at that time there was like videos that came out about how the Hornets fucked up because with his situation looming, they definitely were supposed to not pick up his tag. And I picked up his tag, so then he technically was getting paid to not be on the team. So that was a report that I remember coming out when that whole debacle was around Miles Bridges. So, but no, yeah, I mean that's and it would not be a shocker to me if a team ended up looking to pick him up, hoping that he went through some anger management courses and all that other stuff. Get some woosah going, and if his girl comes out and gives a glaring review about how he's changed, then yeah, he'll be all right to be back in the league. You're not gonna let that 6'7", 230, 40-inch vert was on the precipice of being a borderline all-star. Like, yeah, you're not gonna just drop that. And he's
it's terrible that this young brother literally, finally breaking through. Like showing wrinkles to his game would allow something to derail him.
Yeah,
and I gotta do it. I haven't done a video on him in that situation, but I think I need to because when I speak about things on my channel, I use a lot of topics that come up on like local news.
Okay,
but brothers need to see that it's niggas on all different levels are going through the same problems. And if a Miles Bridges can find himself in that position, I'm not saying that it's good or what he did was okay or acceptable, but it just shows that we're all faced with the same dilemmas.
Yeah.
But it's not the dilemmas that create us, it's the decisions that we make that create us. So it's very unfortunate. Hopefully he could get his shit back together. And if not, then he has to live with,
Lord,
his actions.
Yeah, and the amount of generational wealth and fucking security financially that he could have, potentially accrued for his family for years upon years to go. You know what? Thank you for that, Aaron. I think that definitely sends us off in the right way. Guys, this is the Truth Media Podcast, man. Like I said, we are a multifaceted conglomerate. We want to be able to hit all areas of the spheres of life, whether it be sports, whether it be just regular media, entertainment, you name it, music, you name it, we cover it. And this is just one of many to come, right? We wanted to get some breaking news on this. So thank you guys so much. This guy, Aaron, is doing the most. I cannot. All right. So I look forward to seeing you guys soon. Thank you for bearing with us. We definitely enjoyed the love that we got. Michael Peoples, you are the man. Brian, you are the man. Hopefully you go by man. All right. I didn't misgender you. See you guys soon. Peace.